what it calls the new situation. The new Russian policy essentially authorizes the use of nuclear weapons in response to what it calls, quotes, critical threats of aggression using conventional weapons. Now, remember, President Biden lifting restrictions on the ATACMS ballistic missiles, which are, of course, conventional weapons, essentially allowing them to be fired into Russia. Putin has made nuclear threats before that have proved to be hollow. A senior Ukrainian military source telling me this is blackmail, but also warning nuclear weapons are a Pandora's box that shouldn't be opened. This move likely aimed as much at President-elect Trump, who's promising to end the war when he takes office, but it'll make that all the harder. Meanwhile, Russia again escalating attacks inside Ukraine, striking an apartment block in the north, killing 9, including a child.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue, and we're here. We're back with another situation. This is very weird. When I said that I was going to be doing political stuff, I was not anticipating doing stuff in regards to the war like that. Yeah, this is definitely an awkward situation for me because I don't like the idea of war. I don't like, I'm just not okay with war as a whole. And when it comes to like talk about war and America being more involved and stuff like that, although I'm quite positive that I'm not going to get drafted, I still am not I'm like, this is just annoying to me. And every time when I watch these news videos, it's like I'm looking at these leaders and I'm just like, man, these guys are really to just put soldiers' life at risk for whatever cause that they have. In Russia's sense, Putin, ridiculous. And Kim Jong-un, like, ridiculous. I understand Ukraine's stance and like trying to defend, and I get that. But like, I don't know, it's just weird. So if you guys don't know, President Biden has allowed for Ukraine to use the missiles. I did the video on this last time, and they immediately used said missiles. So it's causing some interesting changes to Russia and their game plan, I guess, on how they're going to progress this war. So let's take a dive and see what they're talking about.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a revised nuclear doctrine, declaring that a conventional attack on Russia by any nation that is supported by nuclear power will be considered a joint attack on his country. Putin's endorsement of the new nuclear deterrent policy comes on the 1,000th day after he sent troops into Ukraine. It also follows U.S. President Joe Biden's decision to let Ukraine strike targets inside Russia with U.S.-supplied long-range missiles. The signing of the doctrine reflects Putin's readiness to threaten use of the country's nuclear arsenal to force the West to back down, as Moscow presses a slow-moving offensive in Ukraine.
Вибачте, без зайвих деталей. У України є далекобійні можливості, у України є далекобійні дрони свого власного виробництва. У нас тепер є довгий Нептун, і не один, і тепер у нас є ATACMS. І ми все це будемо використовувати.
То, что ATACMS сегодня ночью по Брянской области использовался неоднократно, это, конечно, сигнал о том, что они хотят эскалацию. И без американцев использовать эти ракеты высокотехнологичные, Путин об этом многократно говорил, невозможно. We are strongly in favor of doing everything not to allow nuclear war to happen. It was us who first, during the Soviet Union times, suggested to the United States, and President Gorbachev and President Reagan made a joint statement that nuclear war can never be won and never must be started. The update of the military doctrine does not add anything which the West wouldn't know, and does not add anything which would be different, let me put it this way, from the American doctrinal documents on what to do with nuclear weapons. We are convinced that the nuclear weapon is first and foremost a weapon to constrain any, prevent any nuclear war.
And you see, that's just kind of the weird stuff that I'm talking about. Like, I'm looking at his face and I'm like, man, this guy would really, like, on top of just sending soldiers out to just die and like just going out and like actually like going and taking people out of other nations because of what? Because you want land? I don't really understand what's the whole purpose of this war, but clearly Putin wants something and Ukraine isn't giving it to him. So now they're going into this, but it's like, man, people are really sick in the head to really take other people out just for these type of gains. But it's like, wow, they really went this far as to switching up their doctrine on use of their nuclear weapons, and it's very interesting. I mean, like they said, they've made threats in the past, but it's never gotten to a point where they actually had to use the nukes. And honestly, I feel like nukes are just a threat as a whole. But let's see what this Today News guy say.
From Russia that it says that US long-range attack missiles have been used in the Bryansk area of Russia. Russia says it shot down 5 of them, but that one has caused a fire at a military facility. So many different events happening. One other thing to tell you, though, Savannah, the Kremlin spokesman saying in a briefing just in the last hour or so that Russia still considers nuclear weapons a weapon of last resort. Savannah.
All right, Keir, thank you.
So in a sense, the whole nuclear talk, it's again still last resort, but they're kind of inching towards the use. Like, it's now a conversation once again. It's been a conversation before, but now that they're switching up the doctrines, it's all right. Now you guys are starting to piss us off, and we're more willing to use these things. In my opinion, will they use them? I don't think so. I don't really see the gain. There's a lot to gain from America. There's a lot of stuff that, I mean, maybe not too much compared to other nations, but there's a lot of stuff that relations that we have with Russia in regards to like imports and stuff like that. So we still do business with these countries, regardless of the political standpoints and the issue that's going on. So to just send a nuke over here, that would be catastrophic to Russia on an economic stance. And then again, cause severe backlash with the rest of the other nations. And I mentioned this before in the other video. I don't know what Biden was thinking in allowing Russia or Ukraine to do this. I don't know what, I mean, clearly the use of the North Korean warriors is kind of what sparked this. And this is just, again, one of those weird situations where it's like when we become too involved in what's going on outside of our reach in other countries, then when things starts to escalate, then we have no choice but to be involved. And now we're at a point where this is so they didn't say they were actually going to use it. This is just a warning. Hey, you guys do anything else and we'll be highly considering using these. But the thing that I just don't understand is, with as strong as America has been and the way that time has progressed, another world war I don't think would last too long, in my opinion. It wouldn't last as long as World War II, World War I. By no means. We have too much artillery to really, allow heavy wars like that to prolong too long. Now, again, I don't know the full extent, but this is just my personal thing. And like, technology has come too far in such a short amount of time for war to last as long as a world war at that, to last as long as, the previous world wars. Now, I know under Biden's administration, I was on a high alert based off everything that was happening on the news. And like, man, are we really is this going to be another world war? That conversation did happen when we were under Obama's administration with Afghanistan. Did it end up happening? No, we just had a very long war with Afghanistan on their turf. Luckily, nothing has come to America. But when it comes to this situation, and this is the weird thing that I'm noticing, is that with America being so strong, I'm looking at that general, whoever that guy was that was speaking in the press conference. He had to learn English. his English is pretty good. I don't see any president in America needing to know another nation's language. If another nation had to learn your language, that means that whatever it is that you have is some importance for them to have to figure out what it is that you're saying. If that's the case, then I fully believe that America has the opportunity and the chances to prevent these things from happening, the power to do so as well. But I don't know. It seems like people or some of these politicians, their idea of trying to end wars is to assist with the wars instead of just ending the war. Their peace treaties aren't really working. I don't know. It's just weird. But aside from that, yes, Ukraine has used the missiles that Biden has permitted for them to use on Russia. They've used the missiles, and in response, Russia is putting in some threats, some warnings of nuclear use to force America to back down. It's a tough situation to be in. I don't like it. So we're just going to continue to pray and hope that, things work in the best favor of humans as a whole. Interestingly enough, when Trump was asked, he said they asked him who we in favor of. And it's like, we don't want nobody dying. Why would we want people to die? That's the craziest thing when it comes to all this. Everybody's pro-Hamas, pro-Israel, pro-Russia. I don't think there's anybody that's really pro-Russia, but pro-Ukraine. We don't want people to die. It's as simple as that. Nobody should be dying for a cause or for, for land. This is ridiculous, but this is the foolishness. This is that sinful nature that everybody has within them. It's in them. And if it's not going checked, this is the type of stuff that happens. So I'm going to keep you guys updated as much as I can. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all take it easy. Peace.